Right, a little bit late, but here we are anyway. Hopefully it will go well. New SIM card, so first test. Let's hope it's stable. Yeah, so last stream we spent the entire stream designing a small PROMETHEUM science ship, which we then could build multiple of in order to get to 1800 SPM. But our first attempt here, which we are looking at right now, is failing hard. We already lost an asteroid collector here. The problem is we are still keeping 2 laser turrets and railguns. We don't have any rocket turrets or gun turrets on board. And all of our railguns are shooting to the front. And they can protect the front really well. The problem is the weak points are the sides. Sometimes we shoot a big asteroid, or one of these huge asteroids with a railgun. And then one of these big asteroids will drift inwards towards the ship, and there is no way for us to protect it. Especially because I did not really bother to put any laser turrets or any other turrets on other parts of the ship. So sometimes we get this happening. Also higher up here, taking out top parts of the ship. So that is not good. I guess we can see this guy impact. Come on, don't disappoint me. You will impact. It's not going to impact. It's curving away. Yeah, it's not going to impact. All right. Let's see if we can. Can I speed up? And try speeding up a little bit and see it happen. Is this the actual save? This is the actual save. Okay, I can still run fairly high UPS here. Hey, ops. Late, but worth the wait. We're nearing the finale yet. Yeah, I think so. Once we got the PROMETHEUM science working, that is my goal for now, at least. I think this one might also exactly not impact. The goal is getting PROMETHEUM science up and running. And then it's going to be a question of here we get one. We finally got one. Yeah, that is crashing into the side of the ship every now and then, without any defense whatsoever. Here we got another one coming in. That one is going to cause some more trouble. Yeah, so that's way too much damage, especially if that happens multiple times on multiple ships all across. And we are not even that far yet into the towards the shattered planet. We can read how much we have on the belt. We've got like less than 1,000 PROMETHEUM asteroids on the belt. So that is we need 25 per 10 science packs basically. I guess with the productivity it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio. So having like 760 asteroids on the belt is less than 760 science packs. Or in other words, less than 1 science pack in 1,000 times science cost. So that's not really gonna work out too well for us. So I do have to admit, I did a little bit of designing off cam now, because we spent the entire stream designing this thing. I kept the general idea. We can actually look in the blueprint. This is what we have so far. And then we put the fusion power plant and the railgun production on there still. The second design I went for was just this one. It's basically the same thing. I thought, you know, the front is well protected. The problem are the sides. So what if we have more front and less sides? Then we have five of these things next to each other. And two railgun production facilities. The difference with this one is we got a couple railguns on the side here. It's not really that visible, I suppose. But we can like view it a little bit, like here. We've got the Prometheum asteroid belts coming, a lot of laser turrets on the front, and then some railguns shooting towards the side, which is supposed to help a little bit. But as you can see, this is a work in progress and is abandoned as well. Not necessarily because it doesn't work, but you know, if we're gonna go big, we might as well try to go for the same concept as which we have been designing every. Yeah, looks like we're back. How long have I been blabbering to nobody? Did we already get to the safe with the bigger ship before everything cut out? I especially put up the data transfer thing on my second screen, and I didn't lose connection. Somehow the stream just got disconnected, but I was still uploading data through Streamlabs, so I have no idea what happened there. Been more than 5 minutes. Yeah, it took me a little bit to restart it all again. Thanks, Mr. Mehano, hey, for the 2 years. Looks like I missed a bunch of stuff there as well. How unviable was the no railgun challenge? We did the no railgun challenge. We won the game without railguns. Now we go to the post game, where we allow ourselves things like, well, basically railguns only. I was gonna say fast insertors, but we still didn't research those, did we? Alright, I'm just gonna assume that most of the story got lost there, so we're gonna go through it again. I think the first part was still before it cut out. The part where big asteroids slam into the side of this ship, because the railguns only shoot to the front, and sometimes we can just show that in editor mode better. Okay, we were in editor mode. So sometimes a big asteroid comes in here on the side, the railgun blasts it, and then come on, you can do it. Okay, apparently they cannot do it. But sometimes some of these big asteroids go in a trajectory inward towards the ship, and that causes a lot of damage. Also on the back of the ship, where there is no defense at all. Checking. Are we still on? I'm paranoid. Okay, I still see my own chat, so I assume all is good. Alright, so for the redesign, let's go to, no, not yet. So that was the original design. Then we went with a wider design because the problems were the sides. The front was not the problem, so why not have more front and less sides? I guess technically the same amount of sides, but more front. But then I think if we're gonna go building this big, we might as well build in the style like we have been doing for the entire rest of the run, which is basically large single builds, which do no modular builds, right? Just large single builds which do the task well, exactly as they designed to do. So this is one build making 1800 SPM from one power plant, one science production facility, etc, etc. Everything is just like a singular build, right, for all of the planets. So here we've got Volcanus, we've got the entire 1800 Vulcan signs per minute. On the other side we got the entire 1800 purple signs per minute, all just single large builds. The original plan was to do the PROMETHEUM hauler as like a modular one, just see how much signs per minute this does, and then just build as many copies as we need to reach 1800 SPM, you know, the lame way. But since this doesn't work, the small compact fast ship doesn't work, so we needed a different approach. I did a little bit of designing off cam. So this was the first one. It's basically two railgun supply shell chain wide. We'll get to that unit. That's a cursed unit, isn't it? We'll get to that. But here we got some defenses on the sides. So if we look at that one, can't really zoom in further without we can see some railgun stuff on the side there, and a lot more laser turrets in the front as well than we have on the actual ship over here. So here there's a lot of belts going on. Here there's only laser turrets and just a single supply belt, and then some taking out the PROMETHEUM asteroids. So we got more laser power and we got some extra railguns at the side. But if we're gonna go big, then why not go really big? And that is how we ended up at this bad boy. A 115,000 space platform big ship with a lot of belt storage. That's basically 11 units of this, but then deeper. Right, all still good. Sorry about that. So yeah, we got 11 units of this thing on board on the new one. In fact, we can just go to one of the save games. Let's just immediately jump in one where the ship is already flying. So here it's 100,000 kilometers out towards the shattered planet already. Let's just first zoom out a little. So here we got a lot of front, and the front is not a problem as we already established. The sides were the problem, but the sides now have these extra railguns. These front ones target the huge ones and the big ones, and then the medium PROMETHEUM ones, because those have twice the hit points and we want those things. Just to keep them shooting as much as possible for the collateral damage, especially since we haven't got railgun damage 2 yet. So the huge PROMETHEUM asteroids are still 2 shots. They are left with 100 hit points after the first one. Then we got these side railguns. Just only a couple ones at the front here. The gimmick is these do not shoot the huge ones. They ignore the huge ones, so it's in range, they're ignoring the huge ones. This is just to shoot the big ones that break off on the trajectory towards the ship, like we had the problem before. And then they get shot. Of course, some of the huge ones will get caught into collateral, causing more big ones to spawn. Well, that's fine. Actually, did make a change. We are going to be shooting. The huge Prometheum asteroids, because we do want to collect all the chunks with these asteroid collectors down the sides for those. So these are out of range right now. But you can see now that guy broke off and is flying towards the ship, and now we can actually collect these chunks. So having these also target the huge Prometheum asteroids still is valuable in terms of rates of collection and whatnot. In the front we basically alternate asteroid collectors with railgun shells. Most of these grab only Prometheum, some of them grab whatever. All of those asteroids go in one belt. We filter out the Prometheums over here and the useful ones over here, which then back up. So I didn't do my usual belt spaghetti where nothing can be changed anymore. We're collecting slightly more than we need. So I didn't do my usual belt spaghetti. Instead, just building a little bit more spacious. I guess the individual designs are still pretty compact, but I didn't go out of my way to minimize the design this time. Actually, it has a sort of neat quality to it as well, I must say. So yeah, the point of this white ship is to collect enough Prometheum asteroids on these belts. So you can see let's slow it down. So you can actually see them going on the belts. They're not even on the yellow ones yet. So they go down this belt and then they just get stored like in 4 layers on this belt weaving monstrosity, which we came up with a year ago or so. And then they come out again, go back onto 2 green belts and go into the next one and into the next one and into the next one. And I guess if we show the gaps in transport belts, we can actually see that the first ones are over here right now. There's a couple ones over here and it gets denser and denser and denser. So despite having at the moment we have already got 46,000 Prometheum asteroid chunks on the belt. None of them are close yet to the science production facility. They're at most on the 3rd one. A couple ones only. So this is the ship we're going to be building. The width is limited by inserter speeds, believe it or not. I guess you believe it. So basically, we have 4 of these railgun production facilities. We'll get in those, I suppose. I'm having another one of those quadruple belt woven things going up to the front, where they're taken off with 4 inserters into the first railgun. And then we have only 2 red inserters inserting it into the next railgun. These are slightly slower than 2 per second, which means at a shooting speed of 0.35 a second, we can supply slightly 12 railguns to the side. So this is basically 11 railguns deep to here. This is the 11th railgun. And that is how far that module goes. So here's basically a split point. From here we are supplying the railgun shells from the left side, where it's also 11 plus 1 for 12 in total. So basically we got 4 modules. One is just straight line. 12 railguns on each side for 24 in total. Then this one has 12 to the right and then slightly more than 12 around the bottom, because these are not going to be shooting all the time on the side here, especially the one facing backwards. So this one feeds out to the left one and then it goes down in here to these ones. More laser power. This time, this can actually deal with some of the large asteroids by itself if need be. And my initial tests are promising. I could go far enough out to collect 900,000 promethium chunks on the belt. I actually do have a save for that as well somewhere. Let's look. Well, let's go 800k. So this is how it looks when it is at its farthest point. So here we finally have the promethium asteroids on the front, but only just barely we're getting them on the front after 470,000 kilometers. You can see only this belt is backed up. We have got a total of 803,000 on the belt, and we're actually, I got one of these things on board. So this is the live speed at which the counter. So we can actually, let's do a test. We'll just go 1 second. We'll loop it over to 0. Yeah, the count is a little bit wobbly. Alright, 0. Let's take 60 seconds. That's like 274 asteroids per second entering the belt right there. Over 500. Over 750. Alright, so about 250 per second are entering the belt right now. I guess slightly less still at this point. So that's how it's gonna look. Now there's asteroids on all the belts. Let's again visualize with the... Okay, that is not really helpful, is it? But yeah, you can see the amount of asteroids that are coming in on each side are is a pretty large number of asteroids. And here these belts basically pretty full already. And as we get deeper inwards, the asteroid density goes down. Those were captured like 300,000 kilometers ago. They're only now flowing down these belts. So this is as bad as it's gonna get, I suppose. And we are able to handle it without any damage whatsoever. So that is good. No, still no rocket turrets, just laser turrets and railguns. We are reading the damage. Okay, we did get a little bit of damage. That was my own. It was actually one of these asteroid collectors which got knocked off, because I had a little bit of varying speed going on. That was the damage we got. We didn't get any damage on the front. So the beautiful thing about this ship, it is called the Promote D69 or something. And why is there a 69? Well, this ship travels at a very steady 69.69 kilometers a second. I tried going faster, but at 80 kilometers a second or so we already sustained damage. But at 69.69 kilometers per second, we can just fly and collect all the asteroids up to 500,000 kilometers deep. Basically deeper than we need to go, without any damage whatsoever. Nice. The way we are achieving this speed actually is pretty stupid again. So basically I am limiting the throughput of the fuel by one of these uncommon pumps without circuit conditions. We're just pumping at the maximum speed of... It's an uncommon pump, so it's 1559 or 1560 units per second, I suppose. And we're dividing that. I just kept adding and subtracting engines until I got what I wanted. In the end, we got 42 engines. That is very nice as well. We got 42 engines going at 69.69 kilometers a second. It's just destiny. It's just meant to be. And all of the fuel is limited by an uncommon pump. This... I later added fuel production on the sides as well. This is in the... I did the smart thing this time. First I just spawned in the railgun shells and the fuel just to see if I could get something working, and then later, once it was working, we actually designed the railgun production facility and whatnot, as well as the The power plant is just a copy of the one we had on the Solar System Edge ship, except turned sideways. Don't think we got that. Yeah, I deleted all the other surfaces in order to get this to fly. So yeah, all of these bells, I guess we also have a save for that one. I got one which is back at Norvis with the belt completely full. Almost. So now we have 1.7 million asteroid chunks on board. Believe it or not, that is a stupid amount of, it's a stupid amount of bells as well. It's like about 60,000 underground. Slightly less, but still, it's a lot of underground. So all of this is like quadruple belt woven. In every tile there is basically 4 belts in the center part. So the yellow underground, the red underground, the blue underground, and the green underground. All of these are connected. So we got 32 asteroids per tile on the center part, slightly less on the outside part. In total, that's 1.7 million asteroid chunks, which with the help of these productivity modules, we can see the recipe: 25 Promethium asteroid chunks become 10 Promethium science packs, which means 1.7 million asteroid, I guess it's slightly more, we can actually see how many there are precisely. There's 1.7 million 741,584. So basically 1740. So if the belt is entirely full, we can divide it by 25 multiplied by 10, and then multiply it by the productivity modules, which is 128%. That nets us almost 1.6 million signs to get 1800 SPM on average. That means the trip can be a whopping 882 minutes. That is a lot of minutes. In fact, it's enough minutes to fill... There's the 69 again. 14.69 hours. Everything about this ship is 69. I love it. 69 and 42, or like 42 divided by 3 equals 14. Okay, let's stop that nonsense. But yeah, we need to make one trip about every 15 hours. Come back with these chunks. Not entirely true. We also need to spend like some time above Aquilo to acquire 80,000 quantum processors, which is basically 200 pairs of rocket launches. That's about 100 minutes of time. So 100 of the 800 minutes are spent above Aquilo. And then above Norvis we're also spending a lot of time. So once we're back on Norvis, we're actually launching up the Biterex. Biterex then get, together with the quantum processors from Aquilo, and the asteroids on the belt get turned into signs. Above Norvis, so there is no Biterex spoiling. This ship is way too slow to take Biterex into deep space. It has some momentum, it's still like slowing down. And then this is basically the maximum amount of science creation I can squeeze out of one cargo, one space platform hub. The thing is, we are still limited by insertors. So if you look at the mouse over stats, this is 16 Promethium asteroids per second, which is like 8 of these insertors. So we got 8 of those. Then we are outputting 14.5 signs per second, which is also 8 inserters. So 4 go directly back into the hub, 4 go on the belt and then back into the hub, from which they can immediately be dropped down to Norvis again. And then we got 4 inserters for the Biterex and the quantum processors. That's a total of 7.2 items a second, so we need 4 inserters for that. So basically 1/4 takes up like 10 inserters on the cargo bay. So 4 of these plants are going to be producing 58 signs per second. when above Norvis, and that's it. That's it. We cannot go faster because of the inserter limits. We can physically not fit more inserters to put signs in faster and take byte racks out faster, because we also need enough inserters to put the asteroids in. So that is what we are limited to. And then we got a little bit of space left over to throw excess byte racks overboard once we are leaving Norvis. The schedule basically is gonna be turn around once we got 900k. Once we're back at Norvis, we should have 1.7 million, and we're gonna leave Norvis when there's only 100,000 asteroids left on the belt, which means we can still convert the remaining byte racks into signs. So technically these should not be needed, so maybe we can get rid of those. Anyway, these throw it onto a belt, a very long belt, hopefully not too long. Imagine those byte racks spoiling on the belt right out to the edge of the ship where they get yeeted into space. It is a green belt though, so that should be promising. So yeah, everything is absolutely full over here. That is going to be the ship we are going to have to build. It's going to be... but we don't have the resort, we don't have everything ready to build this ship, that is for sure. But I do like that it's just one single big ship which does everything in one go. Yeah, Rainbow Lasers mod does the colorful lasers. I don't have circuit networks, so we cannot have the nice exact asteroid counter on the final ship. But that's alright. We just need to know that it works, and that is fine. There is no other circuit network stuff, only wire conditions, which are enabled anyway. We even got a radar over here connecting these pumps. These are the previous pumps. We no longer... Do we still have... Yeah, I think we still have those actually. So we are actually... This ship is so large that we need to... we need to transport the green signal wirelessly through radar connection instead of actually just building an entire power line around the base. So, new addition in Space Age, for if you didn't know, you can remotely send signals through radar. And this will now read everything from the cargo hub as well. I did do the 69 kilometers per second bit. I wouldn't say truck, more like a wall. That is more like I don't know what it is like. This, you know, the huge Prometheum asteroids that spawn out here. Well, they get nothing on this Prometheum asteroid, which is on my ship. This is a huge Prometheum asteroid, I would say. You should probably listen to that in the style of the Crocodile Dundee. Now, this is a big knife. Is this ship comparable with Iron Harvester? Or is it bigger? I don't know. I have no idea how big other people are building ships. This is pretty big though. This is way beyond the normal Factorio zoom out limit, what we're already doing right here. I guess normally the zoom out limit is something like this. That kind of gives you a sense of scale. You can just scroll, you can just endlessly scroll around these underground belts without seeing anything else. My iron harvesters. That's actually an interesting question. I don't think they're bigger than that. I think it's time to start playing. So let's go to the actual save game. I think those are still bigger. Those were 500,000 space platforms if they were filled in. So this should be roughly a quarter of that. So let's just first see how big it is and compare to the ship we designed last time. So let's zoom out to the max. We'll grab it. Okay, that is the size of the new ship. Old ship. New ship. Old ship. So yeah, it's a fairly big difference. Let's try seeing how it matches up with the science production thing. Where we are making the space science. The space science part is not that big, but of course the asteroid part is pretty big. So let's see. Put it inside. It's about this size. It's still ridiculously large. But yeah, it can still be built in Slarty Bartvest's Planet Construction Factory here. As long as the door is not smaller than the spaceship, so we can still get it out somehow. Right, so this is the actual save. We are at the moment researching Railgun Damage 2. I guess maybe we can just get started. How do we even get started? So last time we ended with some railguns. I did 10 of them on stream, and then I did another 40 Force the Hand of Fate things where we just block output slot with one of those rare railgun shell, rare railguns, and then just if it stacks we get a rare one, and if it doesn't stack we know it's an uncommon one, so we can deconstruct the machine and try again with the same set of uncommon ingredients, basically guaranteeing a result one more up the quality ladder than the input ingredients. So basically that's 100% quality instead of like 25. That's how we got only rare railguns. But for this ship we're going to need not 50, but we're going to need like 100 or 98 rare railguns, and then a couple ones extra in case we do get damaged. Every now and then I think it is possible for a railgun to get knocked out by a big asteroid if we are truly unlucky. So we need a couple spare ones on board as well. And again, maybe the front ones don't need to be rare. I didn't test for that. If that ship is needed for 1800 SPM, how do people do 100k SPM? Infinite research, infinite productivity researches and whatnot, usually. And just a general higher level of technology than I have. No, that's not true. Most people make Prometheum science the intended way, which is where you launch spoilable Biterex up and then quickly fly out to the solar system edge, start harvesting the asteroids and turn them as they are collected, as intended, into space science on course to the shattered planet. We are doing it the other way around. I'm kind of obliged to, because 1 year ago I made that belt weaving video, so now we gotta put it into practice to basically prove that it was not bollocks what I told in that video. So that's what we're gonna do. It's basically the same thing, except now we got a fuel production facility over here. We're just actually producing the fuel instead of just spawning it in. The rest is the same. I got like a couple stages. So this is the full thing. We don't need that in the beginning. I guess we're gonna just get started with the footprint. 115,000 space platform foundations. I don't even got that many, so maybe we should just get started on that. I got a lot though. I got 57,000 of them, so it's about half. That is a lot of resources. We're gonna need to make some more though, so this is gonna be working for a bit. We're gonna be launching all those up in the off times, like now. But when the calcite slabs arrive, we're gonna need to refill those with plastics, presumably. Actually, no, we don't. We are not using purple signs at the moment, so plastic transports are quiet. This is an excellent time to, you know, spend 2,000 rocket launches on launching up space platforms. Really? 117,000 divided by 50 per launch. Yeah, there's over 2,000 rocket launches required to just to get the floor up, let alone all the stuff on the floor. So stage 1 is just going to be the cargo base and the foundations. Stage 2 is going to be power, I suppose. and some asteroid collectors. I guess maybe stage 2 should just be the asteroid collectors and some belts, without the power even. Since I'm not sure I actually have the ingredients and the quantum processors to make 60 rare fusion generators. That's going to require 6,000 rare superconductors. That's a problem, because we definitely don't have that many. In fact, we are not making any because we are not using Volcanus signs, and we won't be until we research captive biter spawner again. So maybe we should switch for captive biter spawner instead, just so we are starting to use Volcanus signs again to restart the production of rare quality superconductors. We really don't have that many. How many do I have? 116. I need 6,000, so that's not gonna work. So perhaps we will need to actually visit Volgora for that. We can just straight up make rare ones. We've got rare holmium plates. I guess we got rare plastic and copper on Novis, so we can just send that over and make the 6,000 or more rare superconductors straight up, instead of just gambling from common ingredients, which is not very successful. Well, I guess we are getting a lot of stuff out of it. 27k uncommons we got. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we should use direct rare ingredients here to get the amount we need. But that's definitely achievable. Yeah, we can make the other railguns from these ingredients, but we're gonna need even more of these resources to make the backups. So that's gonna be another interplanetary flight. The asteroid, we need some, we need like a good amount of time above Novis to collect enough asteroids to start up the fuel production and whatnot. Because this thing takes a lot of thruster fuel just to get away from Novis, because it's so massive. It accelerates really, really slowly. So we need a lot of fuel to just push it up to where we can start shooting medium asteroids and actually get a little bit of asteroid production going. So I think we are just going to start with the footprint and go from there. Isn't it better to ship up ingredients and make the floor on the ship itself? You know, that could very well be true, actually. Let's take a look. It's of course the most rocket launch efficient to make it in space from the stuff that spawns there, but that's also going to cost a ton of time to make 100,000 space platforms from asteroid. But you could take a look here. So that's basically 50 on a rocket times 20 steel, so that's 1,000 steel. Steel launches per 400, so that's it's more efficient to launch up the space platforms themselves, as each of them represents 2.5 rocket launches worth of steel, and I guess another half rocket launch worth of copper cable. A quarter. So it's almost 3 times as effective to send up the space platforms, it looks like. So that's what we're gonna do. These things are just super expensive, man, space platforms. Okay, let's need to decide then. Do we continue on the course of Railgun Damage 2? I actually don't think we really need it, so that was maybe a waste of resources. We already spent 1 million on Damage 1 and we're most of the way into Damage 2, so I guess we might as well complete it. But yeah, there's not really a need to conserve railgun ammo by one-shotting the asteroids, and we don't really have a DPS problem for the... This is the only function of this is one-shotting the huge Prometheum asteroids instead of two-shotting them. For the rest, everything will be the same. So I guess we'll complete it because we're already too far in to cancel it. But in the end, it was not really necessary. If we switch for captive biter spawner, we can switch on EM signs again, although that also starts production signs again, which means that will interfere with building the space platform, as we'll need a lot of rocket launches for supplying Volcanus with plastics again. So maybe we don't quite need that yet. We will have 14 hours before the after we build the ship. We still have 14 hours or so before it's going to be, actually no, not 14, I think more like 7 or 8 hours before the ship is going to be back with the 1.7 million Prometheum asteroid chunks. So in that time, I'm not sure we should research captive biter spawners or just harvest eggs from existing nests. That just seems easier than investing 3 million signs. There's so many good things to research though. Laser damage 8 though, that is actually high in the cards. Doesn't use any interplanetary science pack at all. So that's maybe a good one to research. We're going to be needing that for the deepest stages, maybe. I did test with laser damage 8 completed, so I probably should research it. This also will be the most UPS friendly tech, as all the other planets are going to be idle during the research of this one. Which is good because the asteroid ship takes a lot of processing power. So that might cancel each other out a little bit. Instead of having all the planets active at full swing. So I guess this is going to be the tech order for now. I guess we might complete bot speed 5, since we are already on that way as well. But that's purple signs again, so let's put it behind there. I think that's going to be the tech order. Right, in that case, do we even need to reload? I don't think so. We didn't do anything illegal, right? Yeah, achievements are still on, so I suppose we can just continue. It's 1000 times playthrough, so yeah, it actually uses only 2.2 rockets. If you measure the, not 2.2k, but if you measure the ingredients against the ingredients which go into science, it sounds not so bad, right? How many fish are in this point? Well, we started with 120 fish when we started the game. So naturally, this is 1000x. Including 1000x fish cost. So we got 120,000 fish in the pond now. Took an entire stream to get that as well, yeah. After I achieved victory, I needed a nice fishing trip. We kinda overinvested. Alright. So, what is the course of action then? Well, let's first... I guess the first thing to do is say goodbye to this ship. We can delete everything but the... If we delete everything but the cargo hub, we should be alright. I guess we can just do this and then quickly cancel this. Alright. So we keep the space. I guess we don't really need to deconstruct the space platforms. I kinda have a suspicion that we're gonna need all of that. Alright, so the new one uses rare cargo base. And we need 70 of them. I guess we are just gonna straight up make those. Instead of cheaping out and using temporary uncommon ones. Let's do this properly this time. Alright. I think the first thing to do though is paste the new ship. At least the footprint. Okay, so update. I cannot actually paste the full blueprint just yet. Okay, 1 second, something in my throat. Guess let's base it anyway. Once do we have raiders on board? I don't. Okay, that is a good thing to send up then. We can actually see we should have some raiders on the big one. 3. And I guess we do need a stack of rare solar panels to, or at least a stack of some solar panels to start up the fusion reactors. I guess we're gonna cheap out and use uncommons. Raiders, I got 5. That's gonna do it, man. We got the mech armor though. I feel rich. Okay, we're gonna... I heard the Johnnies already. No, you don't. 3 raiders. Temporary solar panels. 47, that's a stupid amount. Let's do 25. Don't shoot it, Johnny. How long you think the 1000x science course series on YouTube will last? It's taking me about 3 weeks to make every episode now, since they are becoming longer, like half an hour each. And I did make a roadmap. So I think it's probably gonna take the better part of this year to finish that series. But we're actually further ahead than you might think. By the time we are leaving for Volcanus, it's 270 hours. Right now, we are at 560 hours. So that's slightly more than double. I think we ended at around 540 hours to the solar system edge. Alright. So the point of this was so we can do this. Not really sure. I've spent too much time in editor mode, so now I every time think I can just get out of map view. Alright, that's already a lot larger surface. It's still not large enough though. So yeah, that means this ship is larger than the reveal area of a rare raider, which is 5 chunks away. So yeah, I guess that's gonna take some time then. We can but we can just let these guys scan a little. Let's paste the footprint. I guess I should save. It's definitely also 1000 times editing cost, man. It's not even that I already have all the footage to make the edit, you know. So basically the process is first I need to write, I make notes. I have a lot of notes, a lot of save games, so as taking those as a guideline, I write the script, the voiceover. Then I need to record the voiceover. After I have the voiceover, that goes into the editor mode. I cut out all the crap, because I cannot speak English very well, especially when I need to read it. I read a pre-written script that is fairly difficult. I guess we can auto request missing. Okay, that isn't doing much. Let's also just manually request 2000 space platforms. That should enable the rocket silos. Alright, there we go. At some point it will automatically request those as well, but with a ship that large, it could take a while. We are still not automatically requesting those things. We are starting to build though, so that's good. And I appear to have overwritten my solar panels. Let's put some back. Alright, we have noticed that we are missing some foundations now. Okay, there we go. The counter is starting to go up. Right, so that means this is no longer necessary. We are now automatically requesting them here. Let's also Homo D69. That was the name of the ship. I think we decided. Alright, so that's gonna take a while to grow. It's gonna grow faster than our rockets can launch up space platforms, I'm pretty sure. So that's gonna be busy for a while. So yeah, after I got the voiceover cut and pasted into the editor, now I gotta go collect the footage, except there is no footage to collect. I don't use the stream footage because, you know, I got a lot of stream problems all the time. In general, the quality of streams are not that great, especially not for video editing, because it's already compressed, so you cannot really do a lot of editing. What the heck is this line of fish over here? I guess we were on... they were feeling a little on edge. I guess we're standing in a chunk. I guess if we go up one chunk, they start swimming again. Okay, there they go. We released the fishies. That was the line where that was the chunk where the fish got inactive. Now they can swim again. I guess now they're locked again up there. Yes, these are locked again. All the ones that swim up will get locked. I cannot keep a focus to save my life, can I? Right. So now I got to collect the footage, but there is no footage to collect. I have to record everything, re-record everything again in 4K. Basically my native resolution 3200 by 2000, which I do on the hand of the over 2000 save games that I have. But I often have to set them up separately because I got a lot of map text in the way and whatever, which, you know, I gotta clean up the scenes and just make it all look nice and whatnot. And then there's a lot of explaining to do, so I need to set up, like, I need to think of these designs to illustrate the points I want to make. And get all the Factoriopedia stuff with the right backgrounds and whatnot. It's a lot of work to just get the footage. And then I got to edit the footage under the voiceover and add the music and edit the footage to the music. And then do all the sound levels in the end. And only then the entire video is done. So that's why it takes about 3 weeks to finish one 30-minute episode in this fashion. Alright, what were we doing again? We were making a giant space platform. Can I already paste the whole thing? No, not yet. Okay, I guess we need to wait for the platform to build out itself. I guess that is fine. We could force it to build out first, but nah, let's just let it go naturally. What we do need to worry about though is making 70 rare cargo bays, and I probably have about approximately 0. Yeah, we got some uncommon ones, but no rare ones. Alright, so a rare one takes 20 steel, 20 low density structures, and 5 processing units. So basically, that makes 10. And then 50 processing units. That makes 10. So if we just multiply this by 7, that will hopefully fit in one chest. I'm not entirely sure. I'm too lazy to take it from this chest. I insist that the bots put it over here before I take it. 1400, 350 and 1400. So this is what the rare cargo bays are gonna cost me. That's pretty steep. Let's throw my stuff in a random chest so I will lose it again. Let's see. I guess we can double this. So we can use 14 assemblers. That sounds about right. 14 stacks of steel. And I guess we gotta wait a little bit to insert the last 14 stacks of LDSs. So yeah, this is why I don't have a big stockpile of rare stuff around. Everything is still kinda limited. So these are the low density structures I got. This is the steel I got left over. I mean, we got more steel on Fulgora now, I suppose. We got like tons and tons of the stuff. So we could bring that over, but you know, not right now. We should have infinite iron now, though. Yeah, we got 272,000 and rising, thanks to our space casino. So at least we don't really need to worry about iron cost anymore. Alright, and that is 70 rare cargo bays. These can go back. I can do that myself, don't worry, bots. These are all my blue chips which I have left. I guess I also have more on other planets, but you know, that's other planets. Alright. So I guess since the main rocket silo area is busy, we can just launch these up in the Johnny silo. Yeah, it will go automatically as well. So we'll just put an inserter there. That should do the trick for the rare cargo base. And then we will be able to send down the uncommon ones. And that is the first step complete, the easy step. Oh boy. Thanks, Richard. Have you considered hiring 999 people? I don't make enough of the videos to be able to afford an editor. So it's still a one-man project. I think it's gonna stay that way. I guess like most passionate YouTube creators, you just want to control your end product yourself, right? So that's probably what it's going to end up like. Let's take a look how it is going. I'm going to rename it. I just want it to be at the bottom because now it's in the middle, so I can find it. Alright, that's not the... Okay, that helps. Now we have some storage, so now we can actually delete these without dropping the inventory. Since this part is now connected, we can drop those. I guess we can keep this on board. We'll probably be needing it. 64,000 space platforms left to go. Plus the source. Okay, some chunks have gotten scanned already, but not all of them. Alright, we're gonna do that. Let's force the platform to build out to the sides first with what we have available. Not very logical deconstruction logic, but alright. Alright, so that will quickly grow out. I guess we can then move the raiders be on those chunks. And maybe that will already do the trick. Okay, one chunk further out. I think then we're good. Guess we gotta wait a little. There we go. Okay, left side complete. And right side complete. Now we can paste the entire thing. There we go. Okay, now we start building out from there. I guess that's fine. Doesn't really matter. As long as everything gets built. Keep launching. I guess that's gonna get interrupted. Fine. I guess this number should start to go up pretty soon again. With the chunk grid overlay you can kinda get a better sense of just how large the ship really is. That's a lot of chunks. Okay, I guess the radar stage is complete. Right, so what do we do next? I guess we gotta take a look at what the heck we need for ingredients. I guess we can use the solar panels for... Yeah, I guess we can use solar panels to power the asteroid collectors, to start to collect their initial asteroids. So I'm not really sure we need much at all. And then the next step is the whole thing. Okay, let's just do what we always do. We grab the chest, put it outside of the bot's range, and then we just take the blueprint. Okay, that closes the chest, so I need to put it on the bar. And add section. Now we got the entire requests for the spaceship on here. That is the shopping list, what we need. Except the 115,000 space platforms. Those we do not need. Next to that, guess we take these. Guess we want to leave those. Oh, the blue chests. I know I still have some. We got some other things, like the fusion power startup kit. That shouldn't be a thing, I think. Yeah, that should have been changed. I guess I did not update the blueprint. Fast insertors, we don't have those. Okay, we don't have... There's a lot of garbage in here, apparently. Okay, I guess we don't really need to worry about that right now then. I do remember we need... as it turns out, if you put a lot of fluid in the fusion reactors, the the power draw per reactor is actually pretty imbalanced. So a lot of fusion cells get used from one reactor, but not from the other one. We can see that on the non-railgun victory ship, where there's 20 fuel cells left in this one, 45 left in this one. So this reactor barely did anything. I didn't touch this. 49 and 48. So we only really used power in 2 of these. And I think that's because I put too much fluid in there. And somehow that blocks the system. It still works at full power, but if not full power is required, some of these are just switched off. So I put a lot less in the reactor this time, and that apparently makes the fuel draw a lot more equal among the reactors. So not sure that's what's going on, but it seems like that anyway. Alright, we can delete this now since that is being requested. I guess we can worry about that later. Let's first worry about the big things. Alright. The big things. Okay, so there's some things we don't have, like green belts. We don't really have green belts in sufficient quantity. The question is, that blueprint uses 36 megabytes of RAM memory by itself. There's a warning on the bottom in the mouse over. Memory usage 36 megabytes. Okay, so what about this one? That one is just for the startup phase. That one uses just 358 belts, 230 undergrounds. I'm not sure we even have those. I guess we could temporarily use at least red ones for the belts instead of greens. I don't even think we have the undergrounds though. Oh, we do. Okay, so we can actually drop this down to northeast and build the first phase. Once the platform is up then. Alright, so green belts, not an immediate priority, but we do need to make more of them. Automate them. Basically we need to automate green belts on Volcanus. Okay, let's just make copies. So here we will put all the belts we have. We'll delete the green belts. So the green belts are something we need to make on Volcanus. Delete all the other belts from here. And I guess we got splitters in different colors as well. Blue ones, and then there's green ones again. 195. Do we have 195 splitters? I don't think we do. No, so we'll need to automate the full green belt selection. That's a good thing to do anyway, pretending that we are gonna continue the playthrough at some point. Or after we set up PROMETHEUM signs. So we need, that's one of the things we need to take care of, this line. So we'll delete those from here. Alright, stuff like pipes and whatever are gonna be trivial, so we can delete those. Everything that is quality is not trivial. We did do the cargo base, we can delete those. Alright, let's delete stuff that is trivial. Which we don't actually need to spend a lot of time or effort making. I think Mark III modules we should take a look if we actually have them. Rare cryogenic plants. Let's put the fusion power plant on one side as well. That is just these things. Beacons are not going to be a problem, but let's group them under there anyway. Yeah, first want to identify the problem groups though. So, belts. I guess we have to take a look at the logistics network. Because I'm not sure I'm storing that many. I'm storing only 5k yellows, 4k reds, 4k blues, and 1k splitters of each, 20k belts of each. Alright, so we don't need that many belts. We do need a lot of undergrounds, so I guess the first thing we do is increase the limits on those. Because the production is going to be fairly slow, I think. So let's say 20,000. No, wait, you know, let's actually... This is a purpose build. We need 12,000 and 15,000 of those. I guess it makes sense to automate it on Volcanus as well, but you know... Let's do it, let's just do it here. So we'll go 13k and 16k. To get all the belts for the belt weaving parts. Okay, so that's taken care of. Over time that will be produced. This we have. So this is one production problem. Other Norwegian production things are the asteroid collectors, the insertors, the thrusters, the power lines, crushers, I guess the railguns are gonna be... We're gonna need to make some trips for those. Rare foundries, I think we simply have those 20 pieces. Here we do. So we can delete that off the problem list. 1.9k laser turrets are gonna be a big problem. Okay, big problems go on the right. This is a big problem. And this is a medium-sized problem. I'm not sure we have 12 rare cryogenic plants. We need to check that. We will have this available. Alright, so that's basically about it, right? We have taken care of the belts. I guess the next thing we're gonna do is crushers, thrusters and asteroid collectors. How much should we put in each reactor? I don't know, but I think I'm going to put... You only need a little bit of fluid for it to work. And I think the imbalances start happening once there's more than 1000 fluid. Or once there's 1000 fluid, which is the maximum in one reactor. That is when the weird imbalances start happening. So I'm just going to put less than 1000 fluid in the entire 6-core reactor. And call it good. This is gonna require some biter egg stuff. I guess technically do we need the Mark III productivity module? I think we actually do. Mark II is gonna just not produce fast enough. I think that's gonna be the case with the speed beacons. Right, I mean, in cases like this, I guess I should not have deleted these then, because that's a problem. We'll just put approximate amounts on those. So we got the Volcanus belts, 10k of those. So we'll do everything in a single chest then. And it was about 200 splitters, I believe. $195, alright. So now let's delete that, all of that. This is all the problematic stuff. The rest we should just be able to grab. I guess we start on just choose one thing and start working on it. Is there anything which needs a long time to complete, which we should start working on early though? I guess the belts on Volcanus will take some time. Going around the galaxy to make this will take some time. We need to go to Volgora specifically to make the rare superconductors. That should be fairly fast once we have the rare copper and plastic. Let's actually check, do we have rare copper and plastic? Yeah, we got 54k rare plastic and we got a lot of rare copper, 92k. So we basically can make fusion reactors on demand. Because on Volgora we should have at least some rare holmium plates. Which means we have all the rare stuff to straight up make these in rare format straight up. So that's good. We don't need to worry about that then. So that's not gonna take long, it's just a step. So this is taking long, but we already did it. Laser turrets might be expensive. I think though we can we should probably try to fly the space platform to Volcanus to load up on the belts instead of shipping them over to Novis. Can we do that? I guess we can. That's an interesting design philosophy. What's with these weird gaps? I think we can do that though. We can ignore the power plants. These are the asteroid collectors which collect the non-PROMETHEUM asteroids. So we just need the belts for that, which we have. And I guess I'll need to make another copy with the thrusters and the fuel processing to actually make it move, and then we can ship it over to Volcanus, launch up the belts, build the belts and come back to Novis or something. Rocket noises to sleep to, yeah. I think I already have the rocket launch sound less loud. And we are far away, but oh well. Okay, we're gonna just start let's make a copy of this then. Alright, we'll save here. 21, what the heck? 2159 that should be. This is 2160. Another step blueprint. Yeah, it's very, very clear save gain names. So let's actually go to the editor mode, final ship. Let's see how final that actually is. Can I literally paste the blueprint on top of it? Okay, I pasted the blueprint. It doesn't tell me I cannot do it. So I suppose it's the same. Oh yeah, here we got the new fusion power startup kit. So I guess that will automatically get in there as soon as I paste the actual blueprint. Alright, that's gonna be alright. Let's check if there's anything difficult in the repair kit. There's a bunch of belts in there, a bunch of this. Extra railguns, asteroid collectors. No, not really. The fuel cells though, yeah, we need to add those. The fuel cells, at least 600. The quantum processors, oh, that's a good point as well. The quantum processors. I don't think we have 80,000 storage capacity for quantum processors on Aquilo. We do need to produce them slowly over time and just launch them all up once the ship comes by. So we do need like storage space for like 100,000 quantum processors then, which is over 20 chests full of the things. No walls, no, there's no walls. I guess the railguns are more sturdy than walls anyway, and we cannot block the asteroid collectors. So it's basically a wall of railguns with asteroid collectors mixed in. I guess the only wall could be in front of here, but we got those things on board. And those things are in the center. The center is not in danger. The only danger is this angle over here. So we should be alright. Alright, I guess we are going to... If we want to fly this thing to Volcanus before it's complete. We are going to need at least some laser turrets on the ship. Question is it worth it to... I think it is. Right. So let's start cutting away some parts. That is PROMETHEUM asteroids. We don't have PROMETHEUM asteroids just yet, so all of that can go. All of this can go as well. We do want to keep the laser turrets. All of this for PROMETHEUM asteroids. This is the fuel processing plant, so we do want to keep that. I mean, we're not gonna be needing a lot of laser turrets to shoot some medium asteroids from the sides. Nor from the nor railguns, I suppose. Those don't need to be on board just yet. Okay, I do have the asteroid collectors in a separate blueprint, so I can just repaste those. We'll leave like one line of laser turrets in the front. Maybe that was a bit optimistic. At the corner we might want to leave a couple extra. Okay, we got that asteroid collection stuff in a separate blueprint, so we don't really need to keep that right here. We don't need any of the railgun stuff. I guess all of this belt routing is already included. We just don't have the part down here. That's where we're gonna throw it overboard, I suppose. Alright. I just decided it's easier to just bring the belts to Novice and launch them up again. It's only 16,000 belts. Wait. Vulcan launches with half per launch. So that's gonna be stupid, isn't it? So that is 240 launches. 400 launches. 640. 650 launches for the green belts twice. If we... I guess it's once on Volcanus anyway, and then it's once more on Novice. Alright, I have a different idea. Yeah, we can do this smarter. We don't need to delete everything. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. We need to go back to final ship. We'll just make a copy of the belt stuff we have and just copy paste the rest over. So sure, you're the girds. We do need to start with some rare raiders, just so we can paste the blueprint. Okay, that'll do it. Yeah, it's taking a little bit of time. We can delete the fusion plants. And basically update this one. Instead we'll use some solar panels just spread around randomly. Okay, so now what we need to do is basically add the thrusters. And the fuel processing plant. I think we're also gonna get the overflow belt in there. All right. And only one of those overflow belts was for the mix of asteroids, not the Prometheum ones. That's this one. It goes here, here, down here. It's the left one. So this one is the overflow for Prometheum asteroids. We don't need that yet. So hopefully this will turn out to be a bit faster. Not entirely sure that it will. Thanks Axel for the 8 months. Thank you. Alright, that's some different stuff. Let's see. It's the bottom part where it should go on. So what are we doing anyway? We are taking this out, putting it on this belt. So this part we need to copy. Alright. And then it connects to here. So that is the way it's going to be. This is still not necessary. That is the overflow belt. And then that belt will go down. We can just draw that down until we reach here. And then this part we can just copy completely. This should be flippable except for the fuel part. Alright, so that is the belt. This is just decorative, I suppose. I hope I have enough to build that. Alright, so the thrusters are not flippable, so the pipelines are slightly different on this side. So this part we'll have to manually copy. Right, that part is the same. Alright, this part should be the same, so we can copy this, flip it. Symmetrical designs, always nice. Alright, so now we got the fuel processing on board. We can leave out the modules, that's not that important. We just need to get there one way or the other. But that should do it. So we don't need any of the central stuff, no belts from the hub or whatever. We are trying to read a signal. But I think if we don't transfer the signal, it will just be enabled, so we don't actually need to transfer the signal. And we can go faster than 70 kilometers a second, which I don't think we'll achieve that. This thing has a lot of gravity in it, so to say. Alright, so I think that's going to be our new blueprint. for the startup stage, and this way we should be able to fly to Volcanus. Oh wait, I'm forgetting one thing. We do need to copy some laser turrets. Let's just go to the center. Fine. We'll make a blueprint, snap it to the grid, delete everything but the laser turrets. And now we should not be able to misalign it. There we go. Laser turrets. Okay, yeah, we do need fusion power, right, if we have laser turrets. Well, not necessarily. I guess we can just... We have a lot of uncommon solar panels laying around, so we might as well launch those up. It's less launches for sure than... and the asteroid collectors. Or then the green belts. Again, snap to grid, delete everything but the laser turrets. And that should plop one here. Plop one there. Interesting. Oh wait, that's because it's snapped to... It's not a flippable grid. So we need to make yet another one. So for a moment my ship was not symmetric. God forbid. Alright. Then we can delete at least one line of these laser turrets here. That should do it. How many laser turrets is that though? So maybe we do want to go get that fusion plant. That's already 500 laser turrets. They're not going to be shooting all at the same time. Alright, but just to be sure, let's put back the fusion plants. We can always... choose not to build them. All right. Back to the game. Alright, it's gonna be a while before we can fly this thing though. So how long is it gonna take to make belts on Volcanus? We have a temporary setup, I remember. We do have a temporary setup somewhere to make belts. And why is it temporary? It's temporary because we had brought in the blue belts to make the green belts. Right, so does it make sense for me to... Can I simply copy this? Will that work? I guess it should work if we just connect it to iron. It only needs to be connected to some iron, and then it should start producing blue belts on Volcanus as well. And if we want to truly automate blue belts on Volcanus, I guess that is what we need to do. So, sure. The Roboport stuff is going to be different, I suppose, but in general we can build this on Volcanus. Put it up there. It's probably gonna take a while. I think we should start with the belts, but I don't really want to. Let's first make these things. Or do we just make it for... We just make this amount for now. 20 rare asteroid collectors. We got those. And 12 rare crushers. We don't have those. And we definitely don't have the rare thrusters. Yeah, let's do make those parts. We do need those things to fly the ship to Volcanus anyway. So 40 crushers, 42 and 106 asteroid collectors. This is theoretically the last ship we'll ever need to make. Is it not? So maybe I should not be overproducing too much. I guess asteroid collectors will get destroyed every now and then. Alright. 40, 42 and 106. I'll keep those in reserve. Well, let's see if we even have those kinds of resources. And 10, 20. So 400, 400, 720. That's for the crushers. The thrusters, 42, 10, 10 and 5. No LDSs for those. And then the asteroid collectors, those are expensive. 5, 8 and 20 low density structures. That is not even gonna fit. 5 times I guess let's make 200 asteroid collectors. We'll be losing some of them. That's 1,000 blue chips and 1,000 electric engines. Let's see if we have those. I think we do. Barely. And then low density structures. We don't have enough of those. Need 4,000 of the things. We've got 600, but I knew that was a good idea to make the double circle of life kind of thing. Productivity for science, but we have quality for the rocket parts. How is it going with the rocket parts anyway? I think we probably are spending a lot more. Yeah, these are already empty. Yeah, we're spending a lot more than we're gaining. But that's alright. So what do we have in here? That's the question. About 2,000. Right, not quite enough, but I am pretty sure we might have some more on Fulgora laying around. Maybe. Actually, I don't know, maybe we already shipped all of those to... to Norvies. But hey, at least we're launching a lot of rockets. Which means we should be making a lot of quality LDSs again. We can always upcycle these if we really want to. We got a lot of those. Alright. 120 he said, not 200 in that case. We need 106 in total, so we do have some extra. I guess we have some 20 or so left here. And a couple... no, we actually don't. Hey, thanks Amethyst Fire for the $5. Love your edited videos. Crazy how far ahead the live streams are. Yeah, kind of. I always was thinking I will catch up, but I didn't catch up, did I? We got another strange fish line on the chunk border. Because of probably where we are standing. Right then, one chest it is. For 120. Yeah, we are not gonna go epic quality, so that's as good as it gets. It's time to make the stuff. Looks like 8 lines for the crushers will do. We need a... I need 800 of those things, alright. Still have a little bit extra. That's 40 crushers. As thrusters is gonna be somewhat similar. So that's a 5 assembler ordeal. The rest is just 1 stack each. Rare space stuff. Alright, and then the last step is the asteroid collectors. Then, I guess no, it's only 6. We downgraded to 120. So let's say 12 assemblers then. 48 stacks of those, it kind of makes sense. That shouldn't work out. I don't know. Ah, wait, I counted only 5 electric engines, I suppose. So we'll need some more. Nine times 8 is 72. Okay, that should do it. And 2 more sets of low densities. Alright, thrusters done. 42 thrusters. 40 crushers. And that's gonna be 120 asteroid collectors. Costs me an arm and a leg. But oh well. Still don't have legendary. No, 10 million sciences will be sticking to rare for a while. As epic sucks. And legendary is worth it, but it will break all my systems because I never intended to play beyond Solar System Edge. So everything is just not wired up for the future. I did things like this everywhere. So that will break as soon as a epic or legendary result is generated. Alright. Expensive. But we need it. I guess not much will fit into this chest, but that's this category solved. The other Norwegian thing, well, there's a lot of Norwegian things still. You know, we have plenty of things to do. How is it going with these inserters? Not very great. Not very great. So we need a lot of inserters. Only 200 of those, but 1500 of those. What are we using all of those for? I guess because I don't have fast inserters and stack size 1, we need a lot of those. Alright, but those are cheap. Are we automating those? Those are cheap. We should... Yeah, the thing is though, I don't want to have 2000 of those things in stock. And if I have 200 of those things in stock, it will not help me because whenever I need them in high quantities. So, looks like it is my curse to keep doing this. I guess one thing we could do is start making rare gears from rare iron again. This is just for what? We don't have the dark green uranium enough. We can steal... this is fine. Let's not worry about that. We can scoop those. Yeah, sure. Let's put 100 rare iron per chest. These shall be working. As long as we have more than 200,000 rare iron. We have 280k at the moment. And I guess this thing can work if we have less than, I don't know, how many gears do we want? 2 chests should be enough, I suppose. 10,000? They're only really used for... Well, they're used for a lot of things, actually. 4 chests it is. Alright, so that will all go through Mark III productivity. Yeah, foundries cannot do that because they need molten form, which will lose the quality, so fine. So where are those gears going then? They should be going... Alright. That's where they're going. Okay, that's gonna take a while to get the gears for the insertors. But that means that part for insertors is set into motion. Do I still have medium electric poles? Not really. Oh wait, those can be made in EM plants. Let's not forget about that for once. I don't have an EM plant. Alright, so what do we need? Those require copper cable, iron sticks and steel. I think we have some iron sticks left over. No? Alright. We're not gonna be too sad about that. Iron from space is free now with the space casino, so that's fine. It's gonna be 800 sticks. 1000 sticks. That means 500 copper wire. And 500 steel. Oh yeah, the steel cost is the real beast here. And that can then go in one of these. I'm not gonna request that, that's too expensive, but there's no more productivity to be had. We don't really need the quality, but I mean, okay, the bots took some of that. No. Where are you gonna bring the iron sticks? Oh, here. Alright, that's good. I didn't know those were set to trash unrequested. Let's put it in there then. That's gonna be the power lines. We got those now. So we can delete those from the problem list. And modules. I might have enough speed modules still. Not quite. Guess we can make them. I never added Mark III modules to here because we require byte racks for those. And we require quality spoilage for productivity modules. I guess we have quality spoilage on Glabba. About 600. It's not great, but it's something. So I guess we're gonna be flying around a bit. So let's start making a shopping list for the different planets. So first of all, we want then that spoilage from Glabba in rare form, however many we got, because we need Mark III productivities. We also need to, this is for Glabba, I cannot do that. We do want to bring rare copper and rare plastics to Volcanus, because we need to make rare superconductors. We want more than that, but this is just a reminder. We want more railgun ingredients. How is it looking with... Okay, we still have 3000 uncommon quantum processors. No rare ones though. Oh, we got 1000 rare ones. Okay. We still got rare ingredients for rare quantum processors. Yeah, except the things we didn't have. The superconductors, those have been the problem all the time. So we already took care of that. We need those to make not only the fusion. Those fusion things we need to make, 60. But we also need to make more quantum processors then. 3000 rare quantum processors. How much stuff did we still have? 1300. That should be okay with productivity. It's gonna be 2600. About 3000 more, so that will amount up to 4000 rare quantum processors. We only need this in quality, not these. Not the reactors themselves, just the generators. And we do need more railguns as well. That's also rare. No, railguns is uncommon quantum processors because we are forcing the hand of fate for those. So we can spend these. That's another 30 railguns in backup. It should be good enough. We are not really... I didn't lose anything on the test flight, and it's like a 14-hour loop. So I guess 30 backups should be sufficient for a while until we are actually like going very, very deep in. Yeah, just done with the latest video. So basically we are post the end game now. We did win the game without railguns, but now we are going for the post end game with PROMETHEUM signs, and for that we do need railguns. I don't want to spoil how we got to the solar system edge with the laser turrets, but that's not a viable way to for the double hit point PROMETHEUM asteroids, which we also need to harvest in large amounts. So, but we're still keeping it to railgun and laser turrets, so no rocket turrets and gun turrets still. Alright. So that means we also need to take him to make quantum processors. For those, 1300. That is what we had left in other rare resources. We could take more, but if we take more, we also need to take the other stuff. Okay, then for railguns, this was what we need for railguns, so we can pick up another set of those. We have only 3000 of these. But yeah, 30 extra is going to be enough, so if we have only 3000 of these, was it 3000? We can, yeah, we'll go 3k. So it's a fifth of the carbon. It's only 600 carbon. 900 of those. And 1500 of those. That's gonna get us our rail guns. I guess we will bring some more barrels of this stuff. We will need them anyway. That is to get rare rail guns. Not artillery turrets. Rail guns. For the backups. Okay, I guess we could think about picking up some steel. And steel chests from Volgora. And possibly if we have him, if we still have him, the rare low density structures. I'm not sure we still have those. But we could use those to make some more rare asteroid collectors on Novis. I think that's kinda it in terms of things we need to pick up. We need to pick up bioflux. Do another round of Mark III productivity modules. Oh, I forgot the calculations for that. How many Mark II stuff do we need? I guess we could just let it run for a while and then take out the bioflux again. Well, we first got to capture the biter spawners again, but yeah, we should be able to do that. Why do I have so many capture bot rockets in here? This time we can skip the biolab step, just go straight for the module making part. Yeah, that means we need to pick up bioflux. That was 21 spawners, I think, so theoretically up to 2100 bioflux. Ah wait, the bot rockets, right? They break down into bioflux. That's why we have so many. So we don't need to pick up bioflux. We can just break down the bot rockets. Yeah, those go into 5 bioflux each. Alright. That is why there are so many bot rockets. I need to recycle them. Then I don't need to pick up bioflux. Are these useful later? 420, that gives me indeed 2100 bioflux, which is enough. Fine, I suppose. We'll do it. So we don't need to pick up bioflux. I don't want to leave Novis while this is going on though with the Biter X, that's too scary. So we'll hold off on that. Speed modules, we should be able to make those. We do have rare tungsten carbide, I'm pretty sure of it. There we do. Ah, let's just... Oh, that's gonna eat through those things. Forgot about that. Alright, so we're gonna hand feed that approximately exactly. We do want to keep some extra speed modules around, but maybe not too many. So how many do we have anyway? 150? I guess we got some on the ship then as well, because that's a nice round number. Alright. And we got another 50 on the ship. So we got 200. We need 276. So let's make like 300 or so. I don't just want to copy the request. I'm just gonna collect it. 200, that means 1,000, 1,000, and 800 Mark II speed modules. And 600, 7, 800. Right. And then 1,000 red and blue chips. We're getting a bit thinner on the blue chips, so that's why I don't really want to overspend. That's gonna take a while, but that's fine. $800, 1,000, 1,000. I guess 200 of those only. That's gonna turn into 300 speed modules over time, which takes care of the speed module problem. So those are taken care of. Those are taken care of. Guess we can take it out. We can just put it in the respective chests for now. The bots can do that. It's over here somewhere. We did take care of this. How fast is that going? We had like 4K. That's gonna take some time. That's gonna take the most time, isn't it? Unless we do some dedicated fast build. I guess we can also produce those on Volcanus, really. Alright, I guess we are ready for the insertors. We should have enough gears now. 3,000. Go 3,000. We need 2 gears for each long-handed. And we needed like 1,600 long-handeds. That's 3,200 gears. Okay, let's first make just the long-handeds then. Alright. And then once they are done, we'll need to add another 1,600 gears and another 1,600 iron. And I guess we needed a little bit more. I don't know how much we still have. 800 more gears. Sure, then we'll make 800 extra insertors. And a couple extra of those for future, so that's gonna solve the inserter problem. 1600 and 200 and whatever we're still making. Right. Another problem gone. Alright, we have the stuff for that on the ship. We need to pick up regular fusion reactor things as well. We're gonna need 12 of those. So 2400 and 3000 regular quantum processors. Did we still have those? I guess, yeah, we should have those. Because we have automated those. Like a normal person. I guess we are. Okay, we do have tungsten carbide on board again, so quantum processor production will continue. We've got about 20k, 22k on the planet right now. Need 80k eventually. Don't know what these are for actually. I think these are just extras, but these are extras as well. I know, those are for my personal equipment, which I still didn't bother to upgrade. Wait bro, haven't you beat this challenge? Yeah, this is post game. You really meant it when you said you only be using laser turrets from now on? Yes, except now that we are in the post-end game. For Prometheum science we do need a railgun, but we don't need it to win the game, that was the point in the video. The approximate number of what where the factory on Volcanus starts. The factory on Volcanus. Yeah, see, that's a thing. There are two types of factories on Volcanus. If you mean the science one, that's gonna be a while. But I think both of this, you can find the streams in the stream section of my channel. Both of them are titled Volcanus Day 1, I think. We had multiple day ones. Okay, I'll look at you again. Alright, I've been postponing that, but the laser turrets are gonna be a little bit problematic as well. 2000 laser turrets on board, plus I guess a couple extras. Means 40,000 rare steel. 40,000 rare green chips we should easily have. We have 400k, so that's 10 times more. Batteries though, I don't think we have those, but we can easily make batteries. Batteries are cheap. $24,000 batteries though. That's just 24,000 iron and copper. So easy. We got 16 turrets left. That's not great. Okay, so we do need to set up. I think this can overproduce fairly hard. So we can just leech that off here. Can batteries not be produced in one of those new buildings? Yeah, the cryogenic plants. That means we can fit more productivity modules, so we need less ingredients. Where's my inventory? I predicted that would happen. That's down here. We got 2 cryo plants. We are using them for railguns, I guess. Not at the moment. We are gonna be, I guess, yeah, 24,000 batteries. Plus whatever productivity we can squeeze out. Let's first go set it up. Zip. So we just need to connect to sulfuric acid. Can EM plants also make batteries? No, but they can make accumulators. That's 2 batteries a second. It's probably going to slow down a bit if we do this. No, it's speeding up actually. Never underestimate the power of beacons in Factorio Space Age, especially the quality ones with the quality modules. Alright, so that means that is over 100% productivity bonus, which means we need only half the ingredients. So 12,000 should serve as well. That is 5,000. Okay, we can take 3 chests of copper, 3 chests of iron. And that should turn into more than 3 chests of batteries. Alright, so we have to be a little bit careful to not starve science. So let's do this with a pump instead. And we'll only feed batteries if the tank is like half full or something. Let's say over 15k. It should be full all the time, really. Once it fills up. So now it's disabled. It will soon enable. But yeah, this is the overproduction we have right now. Alright, time to play Legendary Logistic Bot, I suppose. We do have the running armor for that. And those things. Yeah, that's... we can at least carry 3 chests at a time. That was not 3 chests. That's 3 chests. Okay, we cannot carry the copper at the same time. So that's fine. Right, so that's the batteries for laser turrets. We will have to import the steel for laser turrets from Volgora. Or smelt it from the space iron we're getting. I guess that's valid. Oop, and back to normal. Alright. 15 megawatts, but who cares? The Aquila ship. That's the other reason we want laser damage 8. Because the Aquila ship is sometimes struggling with power, and more laser damage means less power for the same damage. It should solve the problem. Because I think it's a power problem, it's not a DPS problem here. Alright, I think it's time to switch on batteries for laser turrets. I guess they don't all need to be rare quality, but you know, it's the final PROMETHEUM science ship. Of course it needs to be all rare quality. Alright, we need to set it to rare batteries, I suppose. That's not even gonna take that long in the grand scheme of things. Alright, so the green chips we have, the steel we need to take from Volgora, so let's add that to the list. And now we know how much. It is a lot. It's 100 launches of rare steel. We could smelt it from the iron on Novice, but that requires 200,000 iron. So I guess it's better to just launch it from Volgora. Okay. That's laser turrets solved then. Well, in process at least. Alright, so let's check. We needed these 12 pieces, so it's 24, 24 and 3000. And we need to make those on Aquila. Those can only be made on Aquila, I think. Yeah, crafted on Aquila. So I guess the quantum processors we don't need to pick up. It is just the tungsten plates in regular quality. And the regular quality superconductors. The quantum processors will already be available on Aquila. That's good. Now 60 of these things. That is 6,000 of those directly. And then another 1.3k quantum processors, which is another... we have 1,300 of those things left. So we need 7,300 at least. And we're gonna solve that problem once and for all, so we're just gonna take each plastic and copper turns into 2 of those plus productivity. So basically turns into 4 of those. So 2000 copper and plastic and holmium turns into about 8000 superconductors, which is about the amount we need. So we'll bring double, 4000 plastics, 4000 copper. And then the holmium we have on Volgora. That's gonna make 16,000 of those things, which we can then load on the ship to make these things. For these we also need 6,000 rare tungsten plates from Volcanus. We should have those though. Guess we better double check. Yeah, okay, that should do it all. So now we got different pickup lists. Not entirely sure what everything was for again, but let's check on Volcanus if we actually do have enough of those tungsten plates, 6,000 somewhere. Oh yeah, okay, we do, but not by a long shot. We have about 6,800 of these 6,000 required. We do have these in quite large amounts now. Don't think we'll need quality of these things anymore in large amounts after this though, so that's probably alright. I also thought we might actually not have foundries anymore on Volcanus, believe it or not. For the belt stuff. Okay, we can send foundries back down to Volcanus though, so that's alright. I guess we'll bring some foundries back to Volcanus, because I think I brought all of them to Northeast. I guess 20 should be alright. Ah, they go per 5. What about that? Let's request them then, it will come on board automatically. Alright, so that is temporary. So now we can also set up the belt stuff on Volcanus then, because we got foundries again. I think then it's just about time to start flying around a bit. So we pick up spoilage. We don't need to pick up bioflux for this. This will go automatically. This we pick up stuff for. Rail guns. Yeah, I also put that on the list already. That is this stuff. Because the only thing we need to check is, do we have the rare cryogenic plants available on Aquilo? I don't think we have. Or we have used them already somewhere. So we could just straight up make those, it's not that hard. Refined concrete is gonna be the hardest point. We will ship that in. We got rare lithium in droves. We need to bring some rare blue chips and then even more rare superconductors to make those. See, I do not have blue chips on board anymore. So let's bring over like 400 or so. I guess 300. We can do 600. 300 per launch. I don't think we have quality concrete on this planet. So we'll have to add it to the list for Volgora. I think should have that. I guess we'll wait and put the second batch in ourselves as well. So we're bringing these. So that we can make cryogenic plants, which means we also need 600 more superconductors. So I guess that will be 7.9k. I guess it's going to be 8k. For here, 600. It's a little bit confusing that I'm doing it in both places, but oh well. And the refined concrete, we need 1200 refined concrete. If we can find it. And that is so we can make cryogenic plants in rare format. That's going to be 30 pieces. We need 12, so we have some extra. Alright, this is on board. We can delete that again. That's all Volgora, alright. I think that's kinda it then. We might have forgotten one or two things, but that's kinda inevitable. I think we've got most of it though. Maybe we have all of it, you never know. So, I think it's then time to go. Maybe we should make some space on my spaceship. I've got a lot of stuff in there that I don't really need. Why do I have all this stuff in here already? I already loaded up a set for... How many do I have? 5,000. 2,000. 3,000 and 2,000. So what could that be? It's been a while, I have no idea why I picked up all of that stuff. Maybe it's just on board just to have some. There is a lot of space on board still. Since we need to pick up 6k of these, we need to bring that over to Aquilo, because we need to make them there on the spot. Alright, sure, I guess. I think I will drop some steel and some regular iron and some I don't know what else to drop. Green chips maybe. Don't think we'll need regular green chips anymore on any planet. I have no idea what that stuff is doing on board. It's kinda annoying. I'm not sure I should throw it off then. I mean, it's not for extra railgun stuff, right? I have it over here. 0.51, 0.51k. I mean, I do need more of that. But we're gonna be picking that up. I suppose I'll just count it as stuff I already need. Alright then, let's go. Maybe I should... Ow. Empty it out real quick. All of that stuff. Right. Okay, we got laser turrets here. I think we don't have asteroid collectors. Let's just... add some. We might have run out or something. Right, we'll go off. I guess we need our own spaceship. Didn't you finish this run? No. Yes, but no. Yes, we got to the solar system edge, but then we decided we got 11 out of the 12 science packs. It's a little bit of a waste to not automate the 12th one, especially since I never did it before, so why not immediately jump in way over our head and go for a mega base amount. Alright. Solar system tour yet again. Johnnies, be ready. I remember it was so funny the first time. Hey Bart, are you again coloring in your own bingo squares? Just helping people out, I guess. Actually, I didn't link the bingo this stream. Yeah, 4 cooling per reactor. Hey Matcha, having fun? Yeah, actually, yeah. We did make a design. It is a fairly large one. It's 100,000 platforms large. But we can... It's basically the flashlight, but... wider. And without a light. And without the flash, I suppose. So that gives you an idea of the scale. It has the same belt storage on board, but 11 times. So we're gonna go all in on the idea of bringing the asteroids to Norvis, rather than bringing the Biter X out to deep space. Right, it's not a secret anymore, so let's open the blueprint. We can scroll over it a bit. So we got the we got the belt storage in the back here. Looks like the game has run out of arrows to draw on the underground connections. That's good. We can actually see the undergrounds in the Ghost instead of just a jumbled mess of arrows. I hope that this doesn't crash the game. Alright, then there's like 4 railgun production facilities on board and a whole ton of lasers. And some fuel. But first we need to produce more. You know, we need to produce more space platforms. I actually don't know if we're bringing that much steel in here right now. It's acceptable, I suppose. Okay, that was important. Is railgun damage... Yeah, railgun damage is a Gleben science. Okay, that is not great. If we now switch over into a non-Gleben science, we need to stop the science flow. So what do we do? I guess we could start researching captive biter spawner just a little. I would rather not though. Alright, so if we wait an hour, Gleba science will spoil. Are we gonna research captive biter spawners or not though? That is the question. Tech decision, Gleba or not. So now we can officially insta-kill PROMETHEUM asteroids with railgun shells. This takes 5.5 hours to get. I did design my ship around having laser weapons damage 8. So perhaps we should do that. What we then also should do is probably we should stop science. Okay, we are flying back. Let's just park this ship in Norvi's orbit. I like to do Schrödinger's passenger to keep it there indefinitely. That means on Gleba I still don't have a good system for that. I guess I could make one. First of all, we'll flip the switch over to destroying science again rather than loading it onto the rockets. We do need to get the stuff out of here though. So that is where we need to flip around all of these insertors. So I guess... not those, it's actually these. All of these. I guess we'll make a blueprint. Like this, like the steel flipper. Let's exclude those. I know I cannot really do the steel flipper. I need to make 2 blueprints to do this. But that way I can in the future at least switch Gleba on and off with the paste of a blueprint. So this is Gleba science on. That means these insertors are putting science in. snap to grid. Alright. Let's put it somewhere at the bottom. We don't really need that often. So now what we want to do is basically this for all of those. Put the signs on the belt. Or whatever spoilage can be as well. Then it's gonna get stuck here for a bit, because we're almost producing a full belt. So be it. It's most important that this keeps flowing. So it will eventually get deleted from the silos. It could take a while though. Technically I could flip over all of these as well. Would that help? Yeah, we do get this on both sides of the belt. So let's do that. That means I do need... Oh god. I can make this one flippable, I suppose. This one is easier to align. So I can simply feed it in again. Or feed it out. Except I'm deconstructing the power lines. Okay, so it is not great. Okay, looks like we are not automating that. Get rid of it. This is good enough. Everything goes out. Get a full belt. And we are filter feeding it in here. That's the end of Glabba. On Norvis, I think we should be alright. The signs in here will just spoil. We won't be launching new signs. And I guess we could technically deactivate that. The problem is if this spoils before it goes away, it's gonna cause a little bit of a problem. So, okay, I'm gonna quickly jump back down and empty that silo myself. We don't really got a good solution for switching Glabba on and off reliably just yet. Scroll. Alright. So we'll grab all of that. That means all of this should slowly filter feed out now. Anyway, before it is spoiled. Alright, Johnny's will be right back with you. We'll just throw this in the logistics network. It will spoil. Okay, delete that. Yes, so it's still flowing despite we are not researching Glabban signs. It will clear this. It has to clear this splitter here. We could, of course, find a solution for this, but that means we don't have the staircase of science packs on the splitters anymore. And what do you think is more important? Having a base that works or having it look good? Well, you know the answer. So yeah, this is the reason why science keeps flowing. So we're slowly but surely emptying the belts, even if we are not researching the lab in science. So everything should be empty after an hour or so. And an hour is gone in an instant. Okay, Johnny's. Okay, the power lines are not damaged. I think we can survive another launch without terminal damage to the base. If the right ship, that is. The right ship, that is. Open a bug report out of arrows. Yeah, I want to complain that if I hover with a blueprint which contains over 60,000 different color underground belts, that not all the arrows are drawn. Literally unplayable. Yeah. Alright. Now we can go pick up some stuff. Does the order matter? No. Maybe? How many are we short now? 46k. Are we out? I think we're out then. Available on planet? Yeah, nothing. We're just launching it up as we go. I was gonna look at that space platform production. 40 a minute. Okay, that's fairly stable it seems. Let's say 39 per minute. We are missing how many? Just to get an idea of how long it takes for this ship to be complete. 46,000. Oh, that's bad news. That sounds like bad news. Sounds like a lot of minutes. It is a lot of minutes. That's 20 hours. 20 hours of space platform production. Yeah, we could up the speed a little. I think at full production speed it makes 15 platforms a... I know it eats up 30 steel a second, so that's 1.5 per second. So we could do 90 a minute on our current setup. That's still over 10 hours. But that's already more in the realm of where we want to be. We don't need the entire platform built actually. We could... in the first stage it's gonna look like this. So I literally could just... I guess underground pipes do not connect. We can run on half of the thrusters though, so that's fine. We can literally just eat a big hole in the middle where the belts are gonna be. To complete the outer part. Okay, that's a lot of minutes. That's more minutes than the belts will need on Volcanus, I'm pretty sure. So should we fix this first? Dang it, we're never gonna get out of here. I got the UPS counter on. Normally I switched it off. This is a normal UPS challenge. UPS is fine. I hope it will be fine with the base and the Prometheum ship and streaming at the same time. That's going to be a little bit of a strain. Okay, this rocket sire looks like it can survive another blast. Power line still isn't hit. Okay, these might get destroyed. And we'll have to drop yet another time because I'm not going to repair it. How's the steel supply looking here? We still have 300k steel in reserve. I did get rid of the belt though. That looks like a lot of manual ferrying. Are we using the steel for anything? I guess we are. This is now our steel reserve, and we're not getting any new steel, are we? Right, how much steel is that again? 280k. That's 14,000 space platforms. And we needed like 46k more or so. So it's not even that much. If we divide that by 39 a minute. So if we feed in this, we'll shave off 6 hours of those 20. Then it's ready in 14 hours. It's not great either. I think we'll just go to Volcanus and set up space platform production there. I think that's the way to go. We'll have a couple rockets there to launch stuff up as well. We can only launch up 200 platforms a minute on Volcanus though, but I think that's still alright. It should be good. Alright. So we'll fly back up again. Where is that steel belt? I can do both, really. Yeah, let's grab at least some of that steel. Where is the closest point for the belt? Here. So this steel goes this way, then up. It all goes to platforms at the moment. I got my fast armor on the ship now, so we'll have to walk slowly. Stream is crapping out a little bit. My battery is quite low as well. Looks like we might not be leaving. They tried to repair some stuff apparently. Makes sense, I suppose. I picked up everything. Alright, so steel. It's flown here. We'll hoist over 10 chests of the things. And throw it on the belts over time. Okay, now I do wish I had my fast armor though. Is it worth it sending it down for this task? And I also don't have the... This is the moment to use that tool belt equipment. One... Okay, it's 5 trips. That's not so bad. Let's just do it. Thanks, Saxhead, for the 6 months, by the way. I missed that. Sorry about that. Make 1000 normal-sized chips. I think that would be harder on UPS than one big one, though. The game having to simulate 1000 planets, basically. I I did a little bit of designing off cam at least. Yeah, after the initial ship took a whole stream to design, and we didn't even get to build the actual thing. In the end, we just fired it up in editor mode. It would help if I could remember where I put my chest wounded. I decided to just continue designing off stream because I don't know, design streams are they are a mixed bag. I feel. I think they're the most boring things to watch, as I guess they're interesting for some people, but for a lot of people I think they will not be that interesting. It's much more interesting to watch me ferry steel around manually, right? So maybe I don't really have a point, I don't know. I mean, we're only 562 hours in the game. You cannot expect me to have a functioning logistics network at this point. Alright. Good enough. It's not a full belt of steel, but at least it will all be depleted onto the belts. What is that? 75k steel. That's a sizable portion at least. Right, attempt number, I don't know how many to get off of the planet. And then we'll have to come back because a belt fails. I can already feel it. I'll actually fail yellow signs if that belt breaks. Of course I cleaned up the chest of gun turrets which we previously used to distract the Johnnies. Alright, so that's where the save then. Because that endangers the science graph. We cannot have that. Okay. Thanks for taking a pot shot, I suppose. I don't think I'll ever need my weapons anymore on Novies. Let's just throw them in there. Alright. Don't destroy these belts, Johnnies. I guess we'll look at it from this angle. The belts live. 16 HP remaining. Okay, we don't need to drop down yet another time. Will all the streams ever be edited? I did edit the first one for the ore biters, but not the rest of it. And the 10k, no, it's not gonna get edited. Simply don't have enough time to do all of it. I will be busy with this project for probably the best part of the upcoming year still, in terms of editing. So sadly no, not all the streams will make it into edits. Even though I did really like the 10k SPM base, but it's Factorio 1.1. It's not really, it's like I don't think there's actually like a player base left behind that really plays Factorio 1.1 a lot, save for maybe some speedrun categories. Thing is, there are so many good quality of life upgrades in Factorio 2.0, you just kinda immediately wanna... You cannot go back, man, once you get used to super force blueprint building and that kind of stuff. Oh man, doing without all that stuff. There's so many things already which have gotten into my habits that I don't even realize anymore were not part of the game. Like a year ago. A year and a half ago, I suppose, already. Holy moly. Right. We'll go to the easiest planets first. Let's go to Gleba first. We need to pick up the least amount of stuff there. What is the time? Ah, it's already actual. Okay. It's good I made the legend, because it looks like I will be needing to remember what everything is for. Guess there's Sunday. Yeah, I should be able to remember stuff for 2 days, right? And Gleba has automated port stuff, so I actually could just request spoilage. 2000 per rocket. Yeah, let's request 600. What about carbon fiber? I also needed some of that. Need 600 for the railguns. Rocket capacity 500, alright. You cannot do mixed rockets though. But then again, if I drop down myself, I will need to launch myself back up. Sure, we'll request something. So let's move that one over to here. Ah, we don't request automatic request. Ah, these are inserter loaded. Ah, I see. Alright, so we cannot really do that. Alright, we'll drop down then. Okay, let's just switch off these inserters for now. And we'll go grab some... Go grab the quality spoilage. And carbon fiber. Just gonna do incomplete rocket launches, that's fine. We don't have infinite space on the ship, so... we'll launch those separately. We can use one of these to travel to the space platform. Guess now we're not gonna manually do that. That will be fine. That's all we need from Gleba, right? I forgot to load the plastics and stuff for Volgora on the ship. That's kind of eh. Yeah, so we cannot make the fusion reactor stuff without those. It looks like it's all we need from Gleba. So, sure. And we are out of here again. $1,000 times science takes not 1,000 times more to beat, because if that were true, we would be like 22 minutes into the game right now. I think it's about I mean, if we go by signs, we had basically 2 signs per minute for most of the game. Most bases are 45 to 60 signs per minute. So I would say it takes about somewhere between 20 and 50 times longer, I would say. We did have 1 signs per minute for a good deal of it as well, though. So probably around the higher end. Let's say 40 to 50 times longer. Kind of depends if you do it on default settings with default biters, or if you just switch biters off or the peaceful. That makes a world of difference. Especially the expansion is a pain in the foundry. Alright. I think I'm going to have to... I wanted to do all of the stuff still today, but I don't have the battery power left to get it all done. So I guess I'm going to have to call it for today, unfortunately. We'll be back on Sunday, and hopefully we can get the ship ready. Or at least build up enough to fly to Volcanus or something. Yeah, I kinda underestimated how big this would be. We do need all the space platforms, or the spaceship will not fly at the ideal cruising speed. It's very important that we fly exactly at 69.69 kilometers a second, of course. So if we do this, we will fly at 69.71 kilometers a second, which is unacceptable. So we're going to need every single last space platform here. Let's get rid of these, that's old information. I'm gonna fly back to Norvis for the outro, as we're gonna pick up that quality plastics and copper for making the superconductors on Volgora next time. Turned off evolution, yeah, that's... Turn off evolution. I guess you still need to deal with the small biters. And then turn off pollution, I see. I think yeah, 50 times longer makes about sense. How many time did we spend? 500 hours? I cannot... I'm so wasted, I cannot even divide 500 by 50 anymore. Please help me. Look, we're 12 hours in. That's like 12 hours for a normal run. Ah, okay, maybe... This is space age, right? Maybe 20 times longer is a decent estimate then. Dang it, man, my brain is fried. 563 divided by 20. A 30-hour space age run. That sounds about right. But then again... there's a lot to think about. So I'm gonna stop thinking because my brain is already checked out. Yeah, I have lost the ability to do easy calculations now. Alright. We're gonna end the outro then with what eventually will hopefully be in order to have a slightly more satisfying ending. Let's I guess we want the actual ship. Yeah, I think this is in the actual save. This is made in the same save in but after editor mode, of course. But it does have all the planets in the background. I was just trying to see how the UPS would hold up. I guess we can find out now. I mean, we are zoomed out way too far. So if we zoom in, or anywhere else, if the ship is doing its thing, get out of editor mode. How much UPS do I get? 60. 60, 70. Alright, so this is pushing it then. We're finally approaching the limits with all the planets. We're not researching on a technology which does all the sciences though. We're still researching railgun speed 2 here, damage 2. So it might get worse. Well, the ship is 300,000 kilometers out here. I think it should not go much further than 450 or so. Yeah, this ship is special. Let's call it special. Here we can actually see the asteroids working. That's how it's gonna look, the splitter. And then the overflow belt. So despite having no asteroid productivity research, all of these asteroids are too much. I only have a couple asteroid collectors which are not filtered to PROMETHEUM asteroids. But yeah, we are still not making rockets on board. The railgun shells are quite expensive, but they're also a lot of like area of effect attack, right? So it's not that bad. And we are skipping the rocket cost. We don't have gun turrets. Still all pretty easy. Only moving parts really are the railgun shell production and the fuel production down here. And this is the amount of stuff we're throwing overboard. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you at that. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back on Sunday. And if you are not here on Sunday, then I'll see you some other next time.